There we go. It's 72 Daystar, and I'm talking about intelligent design. Intelligent design is sort of a compromise. It's an evolution. It kind of, is that a pun? It's an evolution of creationism, basically. A lot of the people who advocated try to deny that fact, but there was some telling evidence that came up in the Dover trial, where in the state of Pennsylvania they tried to get intelligent design inserted into the curriculum, and scary as that sounds, it's part of a wedge strategy that the Discovery Institute has had since its inception. It used to be public. They've since taken it down, but it's part of their strategy to try to transform America, and I suppose eventually the world, to a more Christian hegemony. And so far they haven't had much success, but I don't know, I get worried every time you get these young philosophers who think that it bears any real consideration. Invariably, it's because they're Christians themselves, and that's really what motivates that green sandpiper. Gotta kill the car so the vibration doesn't carry through to the lens. That's nice. Not bad light. No trash in the scene. That's always cool. So, I mean, there's some people that really take it seriously, and they take it seriously, I suppose, because they're motivated by their belief in God. Bump, bump. They're motivated by their belief in God, and even Michael Behe, who has the credentials, and he's a biochemist, and he looks at things that he calls irreducibly complex. That is, that if you take away one part, it doesn't work. That's what he claims anyways, and a lot of the examples that he's come up with, he has been rebutted, and it has been shown that no, it still serves a function. It's a parallelism to vestiges, the arguments that creationists make. When you point out that, say, the tonsils are vestigial, or the appendix is vestigial, and they'll say, no, it's been shown that they do play a role in the immune system. And in that, they're missing the point of that a vestige is something that served another function, has since developed a new function, but it still provides the evidence that there's a link between those organisms. But the parallel point I wanted to make is that likewise, you take a bacterial flagellum and you take out a part of it, but it may no longer be a flagellum, but it could still be something else. It could still have another purpose and another job to do for the bacterium. Anyways, I digress. Let me get back to my point. It's really disturbing that there are so many, especially in America. Really, if I were an American, I would be quite concerned at the state of my country. I think, the conservatives are never going to admit it, but I think part of the fault is that Christianity and religion has undermined it in some significant ways. Before this turns into a full-fledged ramble, though, if you've ever had any, thought about ID having any sort of legitimacy as a science, or as at least a hypothesis that would be worth investigating. Ooh, nice buzzard. And that's probably my first real good look at a buzzard this year. He's got nothing in the post. I'm going to try to get at least nothing for National Geographic, but I like to get a pic of all the buzzards I see, because they vary so much, and you get a real good sample. Oh, and the kestrel's harassing it now. One that's another real good technique for finding birds of prey is if you find one, watch it for a while, because the best bird watchers out there are other birds. They're very concerned about the competition. So a kestrel, even, they're very common, but if you watch one for a while, they often will show you where the other little more rare birds are. On ID, intelligent design, they just tear Michael Behe apart, and it's just a wonderful read. So read the transcript of the Dover trial. It's available. I'll provide a link below. I was enjoying reading it today when I was challenged by my interlocutor, Peter, not sure the pronunciation of his family name, Kupitz. Oh, there's a wagtail, right close, white one. That's another bird that varies quite a bit that I like to get record shots and get a good sample, because they vary so much. And they, who knows, they might get separated from the other whites and black-backed wagtails. Oh, Michael Behe gets torn apart and rebutted, and he has to admit all these things that really completely undermine ID. And I think anyone who's harboring the illusion that it's anything like a science ought to read that. Anyways, that's my thoughts for today. And, yeah, okay, later.